The Miami Dolphins have added a big name to their wide receiver core in Odell Beckham Jr. Could Odell be the missing link for the Dolphins and take them deep into a playoff run? Drop a comment below for your reaction to this move, and welcome to the Ballers Across the Pond. Odell Beckham Jr. to the Miami Dolphins. Peter, it's been in the works, but is it surprising for you at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I think Odell's a talented receiver. He's still gonna get offers within the National Football League, as it seems, and he's the perfect complement to the Miami Dolphins receivers, because Mike McDaniel's offense is a fast track offense. They've got fast players everywhere, and it's more like it's now known as a finesse offense. So this is year 2 of the finessing. So let's see how it's gonna pan out within the league. I mean, OBJ is going there.
They did need a possession receiver, as Will said, because if you talk about it, they've got speed demons everywhere.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, they do. But the thing is, I don't know how fast OBJ is now that he's 31, right? He's still plenty fast.
But no, but he's not. Yeah, but like I said, possession.
He's not as fast as he used to be. But can OBJ become a possession receiver at this time in his career? Because he's 31 now, and he's very matured within the game as a receiver. So could he, with his quickness, could he become a possession receiver? What they do need is a big body target, because all their receivers are under 5'11", essentially their top 3 receivers. Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and OBJ, they're all under 6 feet. Actually, they're all 5'11". So who's that big guy apart from the tight end that they will utilize for those big sort of like throws in the middle, and they don't have an elite tight end per se? The question becomes how they're gonna do, like Will said, in terms of possession receiver. But hey, the first 3 months of the year, they're gonna run that speed track, but the issue might come in the playoffs, like it did last year.
But they did add, was it Jonnu Smith? So tight end is
they've got a lot of tight ends on their roster right now. Through minicamp, they're gonna get chopped down anyway, but they have a lot of tight ends.
Do they?
Yeah.
They've got Jonnu Smith, Darren Smythe, Julian Hills, Jody Fortson, so 4.
Yeah, so they probably take maybe because they don't have big body receivers. They're probably going to take 4 of those guys in because they just don't have any big body.
You take him in, but how good are they? Apart from Johnny Smith, the rest are Jags. It's true.
I don't know, man. Like
the rest are Jags. They are not.
The way I look at it,
Johnny Smith is the only good tight end they've got on the roster because they had Gesicki and then they let him go.
Yeah.
In the draft, I don't think they drafted like a tight end that could come in and be a good complement tight end to Johnny Smith.
Yeah, I think with what Pete said, like he's 31 now, right?
Yeah.
And I think he was looking for with Odell Beckham, it's always the brand as well, because he understands he can make a lot of money off the field at venues and whatnot. So he wants to go to like a main city. If it wasn't going to be in New York, either of the New York teams,
probably would have been Vegas.
LA. Yeah, it would be an LA team. If it wasn't that, he would have probably gone to Vegas. But he's going to go to like a big city. Miami is big. I think at this point in his career, this is a 1-year deal. If he's looking for a big payday, he's going to have to ball out, and it's going to be hard to ball out with
how much is the contract he signed?
15 million with about 13 million guaranteed.
That's costly for Miami. I wouldn't give wide receiver 3 that kind of money. Even wide receiver 2 is wide receiver 2.
I think this is
the ballpark. But
here's the thing: I think this is still only a pit stop for him because he's hoping to show out.
Pit stop to where?
Exactly. That's
how's he going to show out? Because
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm getting to it.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Wait, before you get to it, right? 1 second, no Diddy. Is that what do you call it? When he left, the last time he had 1,000 receiving yards was 2019 in Cleveland, right? So 2020 to 2021, yes, he had injuries when he was with the LA Rams in the Super Bowl, whatnot, right? And he came back with Baltimore, played 14 games, and accumulated 565 yards, right? That tells me OBJ is no longer an elite receiver. I'm gonna say he's not, because with 14 games and Lamar Jackson as your quarterback, granted the Ravens offense is the run dominant offense, he had the opportunity to really have an outstanding year in Baltimore, and he didn't. Because if you have the potential, the ball will come to you. If like in Baltimore, he was good, but I wasn't seeing the old OBJ where he was running guys.
We didn't see
beating
the
guys,
OBJ that
separating
we
from
saw in the
With
end
the
of
first
the
3
LA
years with the
Rams, right?
Giants.
No, but end of the
Yeah,
LA Rams
in the
as well.
playoffs,
Either. Like
Yeah, in the playoffs,
he was
True.
like
He would have been the MVP of that game if he stayed in it. That's what a lot of people think.
No, but that was the game plan. The game plan
Yeah.
was OBJ was going to dominate whichever cornerbacks were covering because he had built himself up to that point.
because
but
effectively Cooper Cup was
unfortunately-
getting doubled. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he could have, but he went to Baltimore, and I was disappointed because he played 14 games, and he actually started 6 games. So the other games he came in and out of the rotation, but he didn't actually start as a starting receiver. Now that says something to me because in Baltimore, apart from Mark Andrews, who's the number 1 receiving option, none of the wide receivers that they've drafted so far have stood out to claim to be, I'm the de facto number 1 here. They're still looking for that number 1 within that offense. And I preface this by saying that people get hung up saying that it's a run dominated offense, so you wouldn't have a number 1. No, because Cleveland's offense is run dominated, but Amari Cooper has been able to put up consistent wide receiver 1 numbers with Cleveland. So it shows that you can still have a dominant one even in a run heavy offense. It's just OBJ is not a 1 or a 2. I think at best, and it pains me for saying this because I like OBJ, he's at 3 right now.
What you know what?
A very
I was
good
actually
number
thinking.
3.
I was thinking about this while I'm at work because sometimes I'm at work and I daydream about topics in the NFL, much to the concern of staff. Sometimes I walk in the office and they're like, "Yeah, Odell Beckham is kind of the new Brandon Marshall for this era," and that's how I'm gonna look at it right now. In that
Bro, don't
he has
disrespect B Marsh, please.
no. All I'm saying is, if you look at him, everyone was like, he's got the potential. He's put up good numbers. But in the end of the day, obviously the catch obviously elevated his career tremendously. But if you look at how he's going to be remembered in the hallmarks on the field, like
it's flashes
people
of
will
brilliance,
respect-
but not like
exactly
top level production.
everyone's-
Correct?
Everyone's going to sort of look back and be like,
okay,
yeah, man,
so
because everyone had respect for Brandon Marshall. They're like, yo, Brandon Marshall was
as
good.
well.
no,
If only he had a good stretch,
this.
if only he had a QB.
I refuse to
what
have
I'm
this.
saying,
I'm
Pete,
not having this.
is Odell Beckham is, I'm not talking personality wise, I'm talking in terms of his presence on the field. Odell Beckham is going to be
Are you talking about
Brandon
production?
Marshall.
He's
the Brandon Marshall of this era. So we're talking from
he's not.
2015.
I'll give you the receiver that he is of this era, right?
Okay.
OBJ of this era, like in terms of like, if you go back to receivers of the 90s, right? You're looking like OBJ
2000s.
early 2000. No, they're from the 2006s. That's when Brandon Marshall went to the league.
Yeah. Cool,
the late 2000s to 2010s, right?
Santana
OBJ's career is a bit Santana Moss is a perfect compliment, right?
Okay, all right.
Okay, no, the reason why I say Santana Moss is right when you compare their records, right? Brandon Marshall, after his rookie year from 2007 onwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, had 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons across playing for Denver, Miami, and Chicago. Yeah, each of those stops he had over 1,000-yard receiving yards in 3 different teams that he was traded to across those seasons.
I'll give you that.
When Odell left New York and had 1,000 yards with Cleveland, that was it. He's never produced anywhere else. So that's what I'm saying. When you compare the numbers, Brandon Marshall produced. He just wasn't popular and wasn't like getting majority of Pro Bowl votes. Like Brandon Marshall is one of those people whereby he's been to the Pro Bowl a couple of times. He never made it to the playoffs. That's the thing, because the teams that he played on did not make it to the playoffs, but he was an outstanding receiver. So I refuse to have that against B Marsh, man.
Okay, all right.
B Marsh put in work, bro.
I think, okay, cool. I see your point. But yeah, so Santana Moss, I actually think, is a good sort of composite. He's going to be remembered. And the thing is, people respect Santana Moss and are like, yeah, this guy was cold. Like, he was a damn good receiver, but he never quite reached that upper echelon. Like, if you say like top 6, top 5 of his 8-year, 10-year stretch, of era, he was never there, even to top 10. And I think that's going to be Odell Beckham's career. I think right now, he's going to be going. I mean, hopefully he's able to get home, but I think it's going to be like another 1-year deal next year, whether or not
I mean,
that's with
another
Miami or
receiver
somewhere else.
Odell reminds
Regardless
me
of
of
how
in
he
terms of
performs, regardless of how he
in
performs.
terms of Odell's career is Pierre Garçon.
No, because I would say he's of a
Nah,
higher.
I think he's better than Pierre Garçon. Pete, now that's the
Listen,
disrespect now, bro.
listen.
Like,
Wait. Hold on a second. They have comparable numbers, right? Pierre Garçon had 7,854 yards. Odell Beckham, to his career to date, has 7,932 receiving yards.
Was it? But if you look at the number of games played,
Well, if you look at the number of games played, Odell did it 110, and Pierre Garçon did it 148. So
okay, so there's a significant difference.
yeah, but Odell Beckham's
okay,
gonna be
okay.
he's gonna
In
play.
Alright, alright.
if you look at total, of what they've got, but it's not the same because in per game there's a significant difference. That's a little bit just a tiny bit disrespectful, even though I'm not a big OBJ stan or anything like that.
Even I think what's his name? We're doing a disservice with Santana Moss. I mean, another one that I could say is comparable to the type of career Odell has ended up having is you could look at someone like Deshaun Jackson, for instance, right? Because Deshaun Jackson had periods whereby he had really outstanding production for certain teams. No, hold on. Let me finish.
The Eagles fan inside him is just dying.
If you look at Deshaun Jackson's stats, it wasn't consistent 1,000 yard seasons. That's what I'm referring to. Like for me, when it comes to judging wide receivers, production matters, and when it comes to production, I want to see consistency in terms of like the yardage and the stats. Like,
well, he was a home, but Djax was like a home run ball the majority of his career. OBJ's never been that.
You put it like this: in that era, Deshaun Jackson is in the top 10 of that decade at wide receiver. Deshaun Jackson, Odell Beckham isn't in the top 10 of his.
Of any of the decade, any of the times,
any of the decades he's in. So that's why I'm gonna sort of throw that
he's not.
D-Jack. I'm gonna throw that D-Jack
he's
out.
Not.
But Santana Moss, that's a good one because the players know he was cold, the fans know he was cold, but he never quite got over the hump.
No, he's not.
All right.